Yeah, so today we are going to discuss JavaScript. So what is JavaScript and why it is used, and some basics of JavaScript we are going to learn, and these basics are going to make yourself strong in learning the other classes. So this is one of the essential class. Today what we are going to discuss. So JavaScript, we can say it is a client-side scripting language for web and HTML. So this is a scripting that we use in the HTML pages, and this is a client language, and a browser can understand only a JavaScript. Browser is not able to understand any Java or .NET supported language like C# or VB.NET. Those are not being supported in a browser. Only browser can understand only JavaScript. So JavaScript is a language which a browser can understand. So mainly, like, to have anything coded on the client side, so we need to code it in a JavaScript. So, and there are some essential things like we need to look at while discussing about the performance and those things. For example, let us think we want a form to be validated before we are going to submit it to the server. Okay, we can do the validation both in the server as well as in the client. So doing it in the server is something like let us think there are at a time there are about 10,000 clients, means 10,000 browsers are connected to a server, and they asked for a form to be filled up, and all the 10,000 people are filling the form in their own systems, and they want that form to be validated, that an email validation to be done. So in that case, if you are going to do that validation in the server side, so all the 10,000 requests will be sent to the server, and server is the only CPU that need to handle all these 10,000 requests and send it back again. So it's going to be a very burden on the servers. But instead of that, we can do we can make that thing tested in the browser itself, not rather than sending it to the server, so that we minimize the burden on the server, and there is a round trip time is minimized, and bandwidth is less, like bandwidth is sorry, the data that is sent to and fro is minimized, and the consumption of data through the bandwidth is also minimized. So there are multiple advantages. Like every browser will be having its own some sort of CPU processing unit within a PC or a mobile phone. There will be some processor which can process the data and do the validation. If we can use those resources rather than sending it to the server. So these are the main advantages of client-side scripting language. So in the browser itself, we can do many things rather than sending it to the server, so that we can use the processor at the same location, in the client location only. Okay, then why we need a server-side script? Next question. We also need a server-side script. Some scripts that need to be performed using the resources that are located in the server. Something like a database is a resource, and some files might be there in the server. So those calculations that need to be done on the server. So we need a server-side scripting itself. There is a major role that can be done using the client-side scripting as well as the server-side scripting. So both are essential things while looking in point of a web development. Okay, and moreover, like going forward, we are getting all the frameworks and many things are being designed in the client-side scripting, like JavaScript, for example. AngularJS. AngularJS is totally designed in JavaScript, and React.js. React.js is designed in JavaScript, and Bootstrap.js. So that is one of the UI package that is designed in JavaScript. There are many things like Angular Material is one of the UI framework type of thing that is also designed in JavaScript. And what else we have? We have jQuery. jQuery is also designed in JavaScript. So JavaScript, like many are designing their own packages, libraries, frameworks. Sencha framework is one of the framework. So there are many things. These are all things are being designed in JavaScript itself, because JavaScript has such a potential to expand itself, coming to and making the life of the programmers easy. So JavaScript has got many qualities. So it is always useful to learn the JavaScript, and JavaScript is the future of all the web programming going forward. So JavaScript and cloud are the two things which are going to be in demand in the future, because the current developers and the programmers are mostly familiar with the server-side programming, and these two things are creeping into the market, and one should equip himself with these things so that he can do all the things. So it is very essential to learn JavaScript in these times. And coming to like what exactly JavaScript is, like it is we can say it is a client-side scripting language for web and HTML. Then what does it do? Like it is used to convert the static pages to dynamic. What does that mean? It means it's not converting the page, it is making the page a static page a dynamic page. You got it? So we like HTML is like a static page, it doesn't respond according to you. Like you design a doll with HTML and you color it with CSS, and giving some motion to the doll. Like when you give a key, it moves. When you say hi, it says hi. So that is something like giving an action to the doll. That action is the scripting. So scripting is like all the things combinedly give you some functionality like structure, then style, then scripting like action. So these are the things. So we are going to convert the static pages to dynamic using the JavaScript. And what it is mainly used for, JavaScript is mainly used for event handling. So event handling is the one of the major things we are going to do with the JavaScript. Something like event handling, what we can quote something like button click is an event, or mouse over, or something like a drag and drop. So all these are events. So when anybody does these things on the user interface using the mouse events or the keyboard events, then we are going to respond. We are going to script in such a way that we can get the event, and we can write the script, and we can give a response again back to the browser saying that how to respond in such a way. So this is one of the major feature of JavaScript. Next, we can do the validations. Validations in the sense like if we have a form that we have submitted and we need to validate something, like we need to validate like a bank number. We need to see whether the bank number is the right formatted bank number. There is some calculations and things we can do in the client side itself in order to judge the bank number, and to see the phone number or mobile number. Then we can see we can also validate the email IDs. Many things we can do. So all these can be validated using the validation, something like JavaScript. Then what else we have? We have animations. We can do the animations, effects like slide down, slide up. Those effects we can do, and we can do those like all the animation effects. Next, Ajax, asynchronous JavaScript and XML. So what does this do? Like Ajax is you can say it's a technique to send the partial without partial request. We can request the server without reloading the page. So we can request a partial reload. We can load a part of the page without reloading all the page. Like a part of the page can be reloaded. Something like a cricket score. Like you can see, like always it updates itself here within for every ball. How come it is going to update itself on a page, part of a page, without reloading it like totally? So it is done. They might have done through Ajax calls. So Ajax is a mechanism where we can partially load a page or send a request without reloading the page again. So that is about Ajax. Then we gonna do the DOM manipulation. So what does the DOM manipulation stands for? So document object model, DOM. Okay. So DOM means nothing much. It's a document. Documents means HTML. So we can manipulate the HTML. We can change every part of the HTML. We can change the element. We can change the element text. We can change the element attribute. We can change the element styles. We can colors, backgrounds, and we can change an element size. We can change the element functionality, something like a backend function. If you want to add some function to the element, we can also do with JavaScript. So this is total like usage we can summarize on the JavaScript. So JavaScript has got some major quality in a web page. Okay, so it's a must to learn. Next thing, so how can we are gonna write a JavaScript? JavaScript is always like is written between the script tags. Okay, so we can use the script tags like this script tag. There will be start tag and end tag. Between these script tags, we are going to write the JavaScript. And this is one of the example of the JavaScript. What he is trying to do is like accessing the document, and there we have got an element. We are going to identify the element by ID. We have already learned like like we have there are some selectors like class selector, ID selector, and element selector, and we have many other selectors too, attribute selectors. So we can identify the element by an ID, and he is looking into the inner HTML content of that element and is going to add some message to that element. So this is one of the way you can manipulate or change an element. Okay, then what else we have, like it can be added inside a body tag or head tag, wherever you want, wherever you think is the right place to add it. Okay, so that can be added. Next, script, the script tag can be placed multiple times. Like you can have multiple script tags, similar to like you can have multiple p tags, you can have multiple script tags, so you can have as many as what you think. Next, mainly we add it externally. Like it is a good thing to add it externally because it has got its own advantages when we add it as an external script rather than embedding it in the same page. If we add it externally, then we're gonna get something like we can make the HTML and the code separate, so both are independent. Both script are separate pages, so it looks good and easy to maintain. And we have code reusability. For example, let us think we have some pages like HTML1 and HTML2. There are two pages, so we want the same script to be present on both the pages. Then what the thing you are going to do it, you are not going to write in the both the pages something like embedding in the both the pages. What you are going to do is you're going to write an external script file and just link it to the both the HTML pages. That way it is easier to maintain and easier to use, and you have achieved the reusability. So that is something about external script. And we can also like there is always like these script files will be captured by the browsers on the client side. Like when a page is loaded, the browser will be placing some catching all those files and keeping it in one folder of the user system. In the user system, it will make a folder and it will include all those files, so that whenever that again a file is needed, it is not going to, like you went to HTML page 1, let us say, and then you have navigated to the HTML page 2. In the first instance, when you have went to the HTML page 1, it might have downloaded the script file. Let us think the same script file is used in the HTML page 2. It is not going to download it again because it knows that the page is present inside it and it has not been updated. So there is no need to download it again. So this way we can make the script files using the external script files. The page rendering is faster. Like there is no need to download the file again. So it makes the page rendering very faster. So these are the uses of the JavaScript. So what we have learned in JavaScript is a client-side language and client-side scripting language, and it is used mainly to make the dynamic web pages. And then we have event handling, validations, animations, Ajax calls, and DOM manipulations using the JavaScript. Then we have looked into where to write the JavaScript and what is the best way to write the JavaScript, and that's the thing. And next, going to let us see, like let us make a small JavaScript in our website and see how it's gonna look. So what I'm going to do is I'm just reopening it again so that so I'm just going to Visual Studio, and I have got a folder, and this folder I want to open, it has got nothing, just a folder. I want to open that folder as a website, so I'm going to open website and we're selecting that folder and clicking OK. Then it opens as a website. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a page saying that HTML, dynamic HTML. Let us make dynamic HTML. So this is a page where I want to add some scripting. So initially what I am doing is I'm just adding a script tag. I'm writing an internal script here, and here I want to write something like a document dot write. I'm doing something like welcome to JS world. So this is what I want to write, and so I'm just going into the view in browser, and you can see welcome to the JS world. So this is a script you have written in the head tag, and I'm moving it to the body tag. Let us see how it changes. So it doesn't change anything. So you can write it in the head tag, body tag, and out of the tags also. There is no issue. You can write over here too. So that's the thing. So you can write it anywhere, wherever you want. But there is always something like we load the CSS files first, then we load the scripts, because the script has to do something after the styles, because scripts mainly use the styles. So we load the style sheets first, then we load the script files. So it is always recommended to write them in either in the head tag or in the body tag or after the body tag, depending on the type of functionality what you are looking. Sometimes we add them in the head tag, sometimes we add them in the body tag. So it differs. Sometimes if you think that it has nothing to do with the body, like let the body load first, then we add the script, so that after loading the body we have the functionality written. So it is good to add after the body tag. So it depends. And going forward here, we have got let us see some other things. So there are many ways to output the content. You have seen one thing like a document dot write. Document means here this total document, like this total document, and you are writing some content to it. So when you say document dot write, it's going to write no matter you have any content here. You can see, let us think, here you have something like a welcome, and when you say, I'm just doing this, I'm just commenting it, and you can see I just commented it, and here I have got the welcome, and you can see the welcome. When I have this one, you can see I will override this one, and this will be not visible here. So you can see welcome to JS world. So it has written into that one. I think it need to override. I think in Java it overrides the thing. So it is like a Java we have response dot write, that is going to override total thing. So document dot write, like it's gonna write in the document. So that's the thing. And next we have something like console dot log. So console dot log, this is something like where we are gonna write it. So I am logging in the page in the consoles. So I just wrote something here. I want to log some dummy script into the console. So where I can do it, I did this one, and you can see there is nothing visible here. So where does this went into? So that went into the console. When you say inspect or F12 you type, you will be having a console here. When you click on that console, you can see that it is written here. So in order to make that thing visible, like written here, we use this. So why we need a console window? So like in order to do any debugging, you want to see what values you are getting in a JavaScript. So we use this console window, like similar to the JavaScript Java console what we have, and .NET we have console. So similarly JavaScript has a console where we can print something and we can analyze the stuff and those things. Okay, so we can access all the JavaScript variables here. Okay, so that is we need a console. So we just look into two things, like a document write and console.log. And now next thing we are going to see is alert. So alert is something like a alert window. So we can have an alert window. This is a alert message. So whenever we want to display some window opening on the page, we can use the alert thing functionality. You can see, hi, this is an alert message. Okay, so I just wrote an alert, it just displayed here alert message. So we just saw the three types of things, and you can observe here I'm writing every statement in a separate line. I can write them in a separate line, I can also write them in the same line. There is no issue, but the thing is, like, you need to see here is you need to close the statement with the semicolon, like I wrote this, so that there is no issue. All are going to work, but you need to essentially end them with a semicolon. So all the statements of JavaScript will end in a semicolon. So that's the thing. And next, what you are going to have, and you want to have something like a document dot get element by ID, by name, by tag name. There are many things. I just want to get the element by tag name. Okay, what is the tag name? I have h1 is the tag name, and I want to go into that and say I get all the entities that are of h1 tag, and in that I want to have 0th element. Let us think if we have that. For that I want to change the inner text as welcome to the scripting world. So what happens, like here you have you can see welcome, that changes to the welcome scripting one. So what I have done, so I just accessed this document. Inside that I went I found that thing by tag name. So the tag name is one, and if there are two tags, let us think there are two tags, I am going to take the first tag and I'm going to change the inner text of it, this one, into something else. So that is what I have done. So I need to close it again using the semicolon. That's it. So what I'm going to do, so after the alert you can see inner text of undefined. So it has not found that one. So let us see why it has not found it. So this is a page where you can do the place where you can do the testing, where h1s, let us think this is the and h1s dot inner text. So I'm just commenting that alert and just okay, I'm going into the sources, I'm going to the page. I'm just keeping a breakpoint over here, like you can click over this pane to make it a breakpoint. After that, just you refresh it, is gonna hit that breakpoint, and you can observe all things, something like here. Just I went into the next level, and here you can see it has got nothing, like there is nothing I found with h1 tag. Get elements by tag name. Okay, actually need to find it. I'm giving the body. Body. It found the body, but not which one. I think it's looking at this level. So what does it mean? I was able to find it, but it is not able to find when I give x of 1.inner. So let us give h1 like this and see it. Okay. Balloon is 0. gonna try it here. Why? So yeah, it should actually. So I got h1 here. I'm saying that on button click, take the h1 text and of 0 and take that welcome and display it here. Okay. So if I click here, I got welcome here. That welcome should display over here. It's working here. So what I wrote, document.getElements by tag name of h1. So we just stored it in, I wrote in h1. Sorry. So let us make it into inner HTML. Then also okay, let us take this thing and test it in our I also want these things. So okay, I'm just removing all this. Yeah, so same thing I'm doing over here. I don't know why it's not working. Okay, now yeah, this is working over here. Okay. This one is not working. Let us see why it's not working. So I want to display it in want to take the text and use it for something else. So when he writes it is working, when I write it, it's not working. Document.getElements by tag name. Same thing. I just don't want to write anything. Yeah, I wrote it in the top, so it's not working, I think. So if I write it here in the bottom, let us see. I think it works. So the HTML loads first. The script has loaded first, so it's not going to recognize it, I think. So I just wrote it here, and coming to here, you can see I'm changing the text. It has changed the text of only the first h1. So this is the way you can observe that it is essential to load the HTML page one if you are going to use it inside the script again. So load the HTML page one like first, then afterwards you can use the script if you are going to use it. So if not, then we need to do something like we need to check whether the script has whether the page has loaded or not. Then only we can execute the things like something like you want to do this one. You can do like something like on the instead of on the body load, like you can place here, and you can make these things into some function. So some function you can write something fun is the function, and inside the function what you are going to do is you are going to perform all this work inside the function, and you are going to call this function inside some button. So you are going to take a button and you can say I'm going to so on click you're gonna call that function. So like this you can call it, or you can, there is no need to end it here also, but when you click this button, then this function will be called and it works again. So here you have two things, like one is the welcome and second is the another welcome, but you want to change only the inner text or inner HTML of only one welcome, the first one, that is the 0th element. Then you have got a button here. When you click that, it's going to change it. So why we need to write here like a 0 index? Why? Because here we are saying get elements, means multiple things we are going to get. If it is a plural thing, like we can get so you are going to get an array here. So this is an array, and you are accessing the first element of that array and going into the inner HTML of that array, the first element, and then changing it to the I am changing the text, something like that one. So you can see you have two things. When you click, you want to change the second one, you need to give here 1.
Second H1 make it like another one instead of welcome.
Yeah, that's what. If you want to change the second one, then you have to give here 1. Why? Because this is the 0th index, this is the second index. So 1, and when you click this, it's gonna change it. So how come that happened? Because we accessed the document, and inside the document we read all the H1 elements, and we got the list of the H1 elements, and we took all the elements list, and we got the first one, sorry, second one out of it, that is the first index 1, and we went into the inner HTML of that, and we just changed it. You can also change the inner text. There is a difference between inner text and inner HTML. We will see what it is going forward. Okay, so inner text is not going to change here, you can see. So I think inner text is always a get property, but not a set property. Okay, so it's a get property, you can get it, but you're not gonna set it. Okay, so that's what actually there's a difference between inner HTML and inner text. So yeah, you can see here. Yeah, that's the thing. And next thing what we are going to discuss here, it is we saw something. Okay, yeah, we saw what is inner HTML, we saw what is document.write and window.alert, simple alert or window.alert, both are same, and console.log. So all these things we just saw. So we saw document.write, console.log, and you want alert, you can also alert it, something like. So welcome. So these are the some of the ways which you can use to print the text or to display the text in some place. So we saw here document.write, console.log, inner HTML, then alert. So this is our first JavaScript code. Then afterwards, what we are going to do is we're going to see some other things like what are some syntaxes. So every statement is ended by a semicolon, that we already know. Next, what we got is a single line comment is using the 2 slashes. Like you want to comment anything, for example, I want to comment this one, so I can use it 2 slashes to comment that one. And you want to do a multi-line comment, then slash star followed by a slash star, you can do a multi-line comment. So you can say here multi-line comment. So you can do something like this, and this is a single line comment, this is a multi-line comment, and there you can see them here. They're gonna not display over here, or they have any functionality. Next, what we have, we can write a variable. So how to define a variable? So we just define a variable over here. So variable is defined using the var keyword followed by the variable name, and there are some conventions for the variable naming. So the convention is that the name cannot contain name can contain letters, digits, and underscores and dollar signs. You can have the name with underscores, dollar signs, digits, and but you cannot have some other special characters like @ hash or pound, percentage, ampersand, star. All those things you can't have as a name part of name. you can have letters like A to Z letters, digits 0 to 9 digits, and underscore and dollar signs. These are the only things that are allowed as part of a name, and we must begin with a letter. You can't begin with a underscore or a dollar or a digit. You cannot begin with a digit like 1 2 3. You cannot begin a variable name with a digit. Next, name can also begin with a dollar and underscore, but we will not use in this. Like we can also begin them with here, but these things I took from actually that W3 school, so you can see it here. And names are sensitive, like y and small y and capital Y both are different, and reserved words, something like JavaScript keywords you cannot use as part of name, like you cannot use something like AND or NOT, because those are all the reserved keywords, you can't use them here. And next, what you can have, we will see different types of data types that are available in JavaScript. So this is a core part of scripting. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take another page here and saying that HTML, just calling it as HTML page. You can say something like data types. So data types, and I'm going to take here some script tag, and I wanna log all of them. So where, so this is a way you can write a number. This is a number. Okay. Number. Okay. Next, you can also have a decimal number, something like 5.8 is a decimal number. So this is also a type of number. Okay. Next, what else you can have? You can have a string, something like this is a string. Okay. Then afterwards, so these are the data type. You can also have some number like this 5 to E2. So what does this convention stands for? This is equal to, this is a number that is equal to 552 into 10 power 2. You can also have something like 52 E minus 2. So what does this give you? Something like 52 into 10 power minus 2. So that is the thing about 52 into 10 power minus 2. Next, what else we have? Where we have something like Boolean thing. This is a Boolean. So Boolean is used for true and false. Next, what else we have? Where C or D equal to new date. So date I'm taking new date. So it will take today's date. Next, I'm not sure it will take today's date or some date. Okay. So what else we have? This is the date. While discussing the string, I want to discuss something else. So yeah, here where something is equal to, you want to have some, this is this you want to have something like single quotes here. You can have something like single quotes inside the double quote, they get displayed. But if you want to display something like, let us make this as S1, you want to display double quotes, then what you want to use is single quotes outside, whereas double quotes inside. You can use something like this. So here you can see we use the double quotes inside and single quotes outside. You can use those things, and so you need to name it as S2. Okay. Next, what else we have? So these are the something basic things like displaying the numbers. You can have the negative numbers too. So where u equal to -6, you can also have a negative number. Next, what else we have here? Where date also you saw. Next, we are gonna see here. See, this is an important thing, like how to write an object. There are objects like similar to Java or .NET. We can write objects inside the JavaScript itself. So how to write the objects is it starts with a flower bracket and ends with a flower bracket, and you can write an employee object or something like employee. So you can write name, and you can write a name as class, and you can write a salary. So salary, you can write so salary like this. So this is an object. This is the way you can write an object. Okay, and you want to display an array. So how to write an array? So you can write an array, or like 1 comma 2 comma 3 is an array, and you can also have an array to something like an array of strings also you can have. So yes comma b comma, and what else? Here you can have t. So you can write an array. So this is an object. So this is the way we write an object. This is the way we write an array, and this is the way we write it. So array, and we can also have an objects array. So where, and you can say array to be equal to something like objects array. I want to write an objects array. So this is a one object, and second one you have another object. So you can write an objects array. So here I am writing name. Same thing. I can use single quotes or double quotes. It doesn't matter. Salary. I have used a here like a string. I want to make it a number. I can also make it a number. So I took one object here. I want another object. You can also make another object here, and there is no need like the both objects need to be of same type. There is no need of such a kind. So I'm writing here something like Ram, and the salary is 7,000. Next, we can also have a mixture of objects, something like 4. I want to write 1, and here W. You can also write that one. So this is about object and arrays, and you can also have some special type, something like a function. So fun equal to function. You can write a function here, and you can write something over here, something like console dot log, and you can write a function here, something like this is a function call. Let us make this one, and you need to end this here, and you can also end it here. So this is the way you can write a function, and you can write so many functions as you want. Like you can write one more function, fun2 function to call. You can also have an array of functions, something like fun1 comma fun2. You can have array of functions. Like your function, you got a function and you stored it in a variable, and you can use that function. We can use double quotes or single quotes. There is no need of, like, you can interchange them. You can see here I wrote a string with double quotes, I wrote a string with single quotes. It doesn't matter. You can write a single quote string or double quote string. Both are same. They're gonna not vary. Something like I'm writing here S, and you can write here 1. So both are gonna same. That doesn't make a difference. But the thing is, like, you want to have a double quotes display, then it's better to use single quotes outside. you want to make the single quotes display, then it's good. It's like we use a double quotes outside, and that doesn't make any difference. You can use any, like interchange them. You can write an array of functions, like a function you stored it in a variable, and you are again you can write a function of array of functions. You can also store a function in a object. So obj function, I'm saying here I'm writing something like f1 a function fun1 comma f2 fun2 object. You can have, like, you can store the in an object the function also. You can pass the function as an argument also, like into a method. Like you can send them like a parameter and you can use it afterwards. So we will discuss all of those things going forward. So just we saw like all these right here. So I want to see how they're gonna display in the console. So I'm just writing here console dot log, then so xyz, so x equal to plus x, okay. And sorry, here you can see I'm just using a string concatenation. This is the way you can concatenate two strings, like you can add two strings as one string. So this is like we are saying x is this one, okay. So you can say x is something like x, then afterwards you can say type of x is, okay, x is this, and type of x is plus type of, there is a function called type of, and you can say type of x. So it's gonna display the what is the type of x, okay. Same thing, I'm just copying this one and I want to write that in these all places, and I want to see what is u, what is y, what is z, and u, y, z, w, okay. So all these things, so u, y, z, w, and I'm gonna write here also u, y, z, and w. So what we wrote is here, I actually just took some variables, and these variables I took all these are numbers. So the type of all these should be number, and you are gonna display the values of them here. So let us see what those gonna display. I'm just saying in view in browser, I'm going to inspect, and I'm going to console. You can see fun1 is not defined. Sorry, here I need to write fun1. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so you can see here x is 5 and x is a number. Right, u, y, z, w. Okay, so x is a 5 and x is a number, and u is minus 6 and u is a number, y is equal to minus 5.8 and y is a number, so y is 5.8 and z is 5 to e2, so 52 into 10 power 2, so 5200, 52 into 10 power minus 2, so that is 0.52, and all of those are numbers. So these are the ways you can, all these are numbers, okay. No matter you write, we have only one type number. There is no something like decimal type, or there is no something like a long or float as Java or C#. You don't have all those types here. You just have a number type, okay. Next we are gonna see the string type, okay. So we're gonna display all these strings. So I'm just taking the same thing and copying it over here. So I have got 1, 2, 3, yes, let us make this as S1, this as S2, and this as S3, and this as S. Okay, so S1, S2, S3. So S1, S2, S3. Next, you're gonna display here S1, here S2, and here S3, and here also you are gonna display S1, S2, and S3, and you're gonna display here S1, S2, and S3. Okay, so that's it. So let us see what it's gonna display here. You can see SC is welcome and type of SC is string. S, we wrote it in double quotes and we wrote it in a single quotes. So both displayed the same. S1 is welcome and type of S1 is string. S2, like we wrote single quotes inside and double quotes outside. That's the way you can display single quotes. You want to display single quotes, you can't have single quotes outside as well as the single quotes inside. You need to separate them, like you need to just exchange them. So you want to display the double quotes, you use the single quotes outside. So this is the way you can write the strings. So and this is the string concatenation. Okay, we are just adding the strings, we're adding them. Okay, and we just saw strings numbers. We're gonna see the booleans. So BE, I'm just writing here B and D, B for boolean and D for date. Let us see. Okay, so B, here I'm writing B, type of B, type of D, and type of B, and type of D. Okay, that's it, and let us see how it's gonna look. So B is true and type of B is boolean, and D is Saturday, November 18, 2017, and GMT time it just showed me, and I am in a central CST time, so it is just showing CST here. And type of D is object. You can see the data type is object, so date is an object. Okay, date is itself an object. Okay, so there is an object separate type called object type. Okay, next we are gonna discuss all these arrays. So all arrays are also objects. Okay, so we're gonna display all these. So I'm just taking console. So one more, I think. Yeah, so here I'm writing obj and type obj and type of obj. And what else we have? ARR. So I'm just writing ARR, here 2, here 3, here 4, and here also I'm taking ARR, here 2, here 3, here 4, and here also I'm taking ARR, and here 2, 3, here 4, and here 2, 3, 4. So this is the way you can write an object. This is the way you can write an array. Okay, so arrays and objects. Okay, so I'm just saving that one, and you can see here obj, we got something inside that one, so we got some names, and so it is just showing object. Okay, it's not going to display what it is. Okay, and the type of obj is object. Okay, and ARR, what the values we have? 1, 2, 3. So it's going to show 1, 2, 3, and type of array is object again. ARR2, so what we have got SBT, so SBT display, and type of array2 is object. and array 3 we got some object, two objects inside, and every object got again two elements, so it's showing us object, 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 object. So this array contain all the objects, array of objects, and the whole thing is an object. Next we got array of two, like a mixture of things like a number and an array string. You're gonna display, and array 4 is an object. So all the arrays are objects. Okay, arrays are objects. So we can write here all these things are objects, right? So except the boolean, these are called objects. So date is object. Okay, next array is object. Okay, that is the thing. Next, what we have some functions. So let's display the functions. Okay, so functions, again, I think functions are also objects. Function type is there. I don't remember. As far as I see, those are all also objects. Yeah, it is a type of function. There is a function type. Okay, so function is of function type. So function, it gave the total function when you printed it. Okay, as a string it took, and type of function is function. It gave the total function. And type of function is function. Okay, and how you can call the function? You stored the function, right? This is not the function call. How you can make a function call? You have to write fun1 and just call it. Just want to print that one. Console log, this is a function call, and fun2 can make a function call like this. Okay, this is a function call, one function call. Okay, so like this you can make the function calls. Next, what we have, this is an object, this is an object. Okay, so both are objects, but this is an array, this is an object. Okay, so how you wanna display these things? Again, we gonna take this one and again right here array f, object f, object of functions. That's it we wrote, and you can see here array of functions. He wrote, it gave all the functions, and type of that is object, because it's an array. Array is an object, and object it just showed as an object. Though you have functions, but it shows an object. Here, like, see, this total thing will be an object, and this is a function. So it should have shown here function, right? Object, it should have shown this as a function, right? The function is not an object, right? So function is of type function. So function type, it should show function, right? Why it has showed object? Because it is not showing only this part, it's showing both of them together as an object. Okay, so this is an object, this is an object, so total thing is an object again. That's all. So this is about what are the different data types that are available, and what are the type of those. Like, we can write a date, we can write a string, we can write a number, we can write a boolean, we can write an object, we can write an array, we can write a function. So these are the major types that are available, and some other things are also available. We will see those things. Okay, so we have something like var. Let us take something like un. Okay, I'm just writing un, and I want to print that console.log un is un, and type of un is un. So the thing is, like, when you write, see here, when you say assign something, then immediately it will make this as a string type. When you assign something like a boolean true, it will, depending on the value, it will make the assigned variable of that type. You got it? Like, you assign a boolean, it will make this as a boolean type. You assign a date, it will make this as an object type. You assign an array, it will make this as an object type. So depending on the value assigned, the variable is changed to its type. Now here we are seeing if we have not assigned anything, what gonna its display. So there is a special type called undefined type. So that is the type it's gonna display, and it is not equal to none. Okay. So see, un is undefined type, undefined, comma type of un is undefined. So undefined is another type. So this is a undefined type. Okay. Understood? Next, where nun, okay, I'm just writing equal to null. So what is null? So null is again an object actually. Okay. So none. Okay. So you can see here null is null. The value is null, whereas type of null is object. So what you can say, array is an object, null is a object. Okay. So null is an object, and I'm just writing here. Here I'm writing this. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So what the types we just saw? We saw numbers. Next, strings. Next, objects or boolean. Next, undefined. Null is not a, and functions. So let us make string, number, object, function. So these are the data types. Data types of JavaScript. Okay. So what are the data types of JavaScript? Number, string, boolean, object, function, and undefined are the data types of. Okay. And the thing is, date is an object, array is an object, null is an object, function is a function. Okay. Function is a function. So okay. So function is function type, date is object type, array is object type, null is object type, whereas function is a function type. So numbers are number types, strings are string types. And what else we have? We have a null, and null is a null object type. Next, let us see okay, I'm just taking where some sp is equal to 5. Now making sp equal to none, and I want to see what is this, what we are going to get. So sp and sp here. Okay. Similarly, I want to take something like up. So up here, and here I'm saying undefined. So initially sp is of type number, we made it null, and we are checking the type now. Initially up is of type 5, we made it undefined, we are checking the type now. These two things. So sp again, it is of null type, so instead of number it became null, so it became of null, so not null type. Now sp is null, and type of sp is object. You want to write here some comma, looks good, but not comma. So SP is of null and type of SP is object. UP is of undefined, defined, and type of UP is undefined. So when you change it, it changes the type too. Like when you reassign it to something else, it changes the type of that variable. Got it? For something like let us make something here. Some XP, let us take XP is of 5, whereas XP I am making as some because, and now I want to display that XP. So what does that it will become? Let us see. Why type is useful? Why type we need to see why type is useful, because like we can see, so XP is of Vikas and type of XP is string. So reassignment will make, here it is initially it is a number, whereas we reassigned it, it changed its type. So this is what is about data types. So these are the data types that are available, and these are the different things like their types, and how to write numbers, how to write strings, how to write a boolean. So you can take these two together. Okay, next objects, and you want to take this as an object, so take it separately so that it will not confuse you. Like objects, all objects at once. So all objects at once, all numbers at once, all strings at once, booleans at once. Next functions, object arrays, and we just saw null and undefined, those things. Okay, so next, this is one of the important questions many ask in the interviews. So what is that question? What is the difference between equal to and triple equal to? So many gonna ask you this. Okay, so this is something like you are just comparing the values. This is something like comparing the values. Here comparing the value and types. Okay, so let us see the things, both of the things here. I'm taking where something like QW is equal to 0, where Q E is equal to false. What is the first type? Number type. What is the second type? String type. Sorry, Boolean type. False is Boolean, right? Boolean type. So number type, Boolean type. So I'm just writing the types here. This is of type number, and this is of type Boolean. So we have both the types, and now what I'm going to display is console.log. Say just comparing number to Boolean, right? Number double equal to Boolean. Number 0, I'm just writing 0 double equal to Boolean false. I'm just writing this one, and I'm writing QW double equal to QE. Okay, so yeah, so just we made it double equal to. Next, similarly I'm taking this one and I'm making here triple equal to. Okay, so with double equal to, what happens? With triple equal to, what happens? We just took number and Boolean, one is 0, one is false, and I'm just coming over here. You can see both are false. 0. Okay, I need to take here. Yeah, both are false. Okay, just take null here. I think null is a good example. So 0 is also 0 should be equal to false, right? Okay, let us see this one. No, something is happening. Yeah, see here. The thing is like it's evaluating wrongly actually. Okay, so I just kept here some codes. Okay, so see when you do double equal to, okay, it compared by the values. So it just compared the values. So here it compared the value. So 0 is equal double equal to false. Yes, true. Whereas coming to the triple equal to, it compared the value as well as type. Yes, by value those are equal, but by type those are not equal. So it made them false. So by value you want to compare, you can use double equal to. By type, if you want to compare, then you need to use triple equal, like 3 equals. So that is the difference between, like, this only compares by value and this compares between by both value and type. Like you change again it to this to again different type, like again you change to 0, both gonna be true, both gonna be true here. See here, both are true. So that is about this one. And a similar thing you can also check with null also. So I'm just taking here QEEN. Let us make this one 0 and this one with a null, and I'm just taking here null. Okay, sorry, object, this is of object type, right? Okay, object of null number 0, I think. So not QEN, I think null and undefined, QEEN. Let us make this as undefined. Number, not undefined. Okay. Yeah, you can see undefined and null both are equal by the value. Okay, by the value those are equal, so it is true. But by the type those are not equal. Like value wise those are equal. 0 and true are equal by the value. Similarly, undefined and null are equal by the value. Both are equal by the value, but not by the type. So if you use triple equal to, the type is different. So this is the use of type. Okay. So this is all the things about data types. Next, what we have, data types. So it is essential to know the data types. So some quick thing we're gonna see here is here. So this is the last thing. So I'm saying that you can store it as you can store them as a part of array, right? So if you want to use this function, so can I use it? Okay, so I'm gonna copy these things, okay, and I'm making it a separate page so that it will not confuse you. So I'm taking here function calls. Okay, so what I'm going to take here is script tag, and here I just took the functions and I got here these ones. So, and so sorry, I took something else. I need to take these two. These are function calls, right? I don't want function calls, I want functions. We have functions. Okay, I just included them in the array. I just included them in the as a part of object. So now I want to use these things and call these functions. Can I do that? So something like I want to use these, only these things. I know how to call this function. How to call this function? Just to say fun1, and then you can say something like this. You can do all this like this. But you want to do something, this is function call, but you don't want to use the fun1 and do a function call. You want to use this and do a function call. How to do that? So let's see this one. Array of 0, and this is a function call, and then it calls the function 1, and you want to call the second one. How you gonna do? With the index 1. So that is the thing. Next, you want to take the object. So somebody pinged me. Okay, thank you. So I think he left. Okay. Next, you want to use the object and call the functions. So how can you use? So object, you want to call this one, right? So what is the name of that? This is the name. This is the value. Always name and value pairs. Name value pair. Name value pair in object. Okay. So object, the object variable name followed by fun1. Then you can call that function. Okay. The function that is stored in the array we are calling. The function that is stored in the object we are calling. Okay. So you can do that one, and you want to call f2 second function. You can do this one. The function that is stored as in the array. Let us make this as you want to confuse that. Let us make this simple, so you can get it easily. Okay. So array object. In array we store the functions and we are calling them. In object we store the functions and we are calling them here. So this is the way you can access the functions that are included inside the object or array. Okay. So how to do that? So just save this one. Come here, view in browser, go to inspect. You can see this is a function call, this is a function call, this is a function call, this is a function. So you can do the function calls like this. Okay. If you want to make this f1, so you can make f1 call, f2 call, f1 call, f2 call, f1 call, f2 call, f1 call, f2 call. You can call the functions using like access like this. Okay. Okay. So this is about function calls like inside which are stored. Okay. You want to send it as a parameter. Can you do that? Like you want to send it as a parameter to another function. Function as a parameter to another function. So how to do that? Okay. So I'm just taking here another function. So where fun3 is a function, and this function I'm gonna send this as an argument, or let us make it as any function I can send into this. I can send the function 1 fn, I am just calling. Okay. I can send the function 1, function 2, function 3, any function I can send, and that's gonna call that function. That's gonna call that function. Whatever the function I send to f3, it will be called. So now I am taking defining another function. Let us think. Where so fun4 is equal to function, and I can use alert here instead of okay alert. This is a function. This is a function. I wrote something. Okay, I'm doing some operations. Or let us think. Okay, this is a function. I did some operation. Let's do this on this class. So now I can send this f4 into f3. So how to do that? You want to do that? So you can do it something like this. How to call this function? Function 3, and it expects a parameter, and that parameter of type function, and that can be called here. Okay, you can send anything actually. So I'm just sending this one. Okay, so what happens? It will go and it will make this call. So we sent the total object as a like function as a parameter. Okay, you wanna don't do like that, like you don't want to do like that, then you can also send something like, see here. We can send something like this. I'm sending the function as a parameter to this, and it's gonna invoke here. You can name it here anything. You wanna name it as A, you can name it as A. That doesn't matter. There is nothing. Okay. So this is this total will be going inside the A, and A will be calling it. So you can see here. Okay. So like this you can send the function as an argument. Not only one argument, you can say you can have as many arguments. All like one can be function, one can be object, one can be number, boolean, anything. So any variable you can send, because function is also a type in the JavaScript. So JavaScript function is of type, and you wanna display. Yeah, that is about function calls. You can have a function as a part of array. You can have a function as a part of object. You can have a function as a parameter to a function. So that is the beauty of JavaScript. Okay. So this is some introduction about JavaScript data types. We just saw this one. The type of undefined is undefined. Type of null is object. Null, the triple equal to undefined is false. Why? Because the types are different. Here types, we don't worry about the types, we just worry about the values. The values are same, so here it is true. That's what we have arithmetic operators. We can see it in the next class. So this is about today's introduction about JavaScript. So just to summarize, we just introduced what is JavaScript and what it is used for. Next, how to include in the pages, we just saw, and what is a better way to include it. Next, we just saw what are the ways to display the text. So we can display it as a HTML, we can display like a document.write, or a window alert we can display, or we can display like a console.log. Console.log gonna display it in the console. Inner.html is to display as a part of here text, here in the main area we can display them, and document.write is going to display here again, and window.alert going to give you a alert like this. This is an alert. Okay. So next we saw what is the single line comment, multi-line comment, and what is a variable, and how to define a variable, what are the conventions to define it. Next, data types. We just saw what types of data types are available, and how to define those. And then we saw what is the difference between double equal to, triple equal to, and double equal to. This is one of the important questions they are going to ask. Okay. Next, we just ended with here. So that's it about today's class. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me, or you can also email me any time. Can you please send me something you worked on CSS and HTML? So like to see them. So do some work on that today and tomorrow if possible. Spend about an hour and do some work, like just roughly go through the class and do the same type of work. Because I want you to work so that you can remember the things. And yesterday's class, I think I missed saying that footer thing. Just investigated. I will try once. Not sure. Here. So be in browser. So this is the page yesterday we designed. Here we have the copyright, and our intention is to make this display just very beneath the page. So how to display, like when we say footer bottom 0, okay, and when we say position absolute, when we say it is getting position fixed. Absolute relative is going to display here. Absolute, I think it should overflow, right? So we saw it overflowing here till here. What are the things? Absolute center, fixed, inherit, page, relative, static, unset, absolute. So we saw this one. Yeah, sticky. Let us make sticky. No sticky. Yeah. Fixed. I just experimented it in my office hours and I'm able to do it. I don't know why again I'm just not able to do it. This is what I did in the office hours. Why? Okay. Yeah, I will look into it and I will let you know. That's it for today's class, and we'll see you again on Monday, 6:30, and we will discuss some more details about the JavaScript. Meanwhile, try to practice something on CSS, and I will also try to get this cleared to display till here. And yeah, that's about today's class. And yeah, meanwhile, please do some stuff. Do the same thing. I just uploaded all this into the into the folder, and you can access them. And I also uploaded the video. You can also access that video and go through that. And yeah, let's meet again on Monday. Yeah, till then, have a good night. Bye.